I'm Tim Herrera with the Sacramento County Office of Education, here with another Teacher of the Year profile. We're here with Donna Hartje, who is with the Galt Joint High School District. Well, first of all, congratulations on being named a Teacher of the Year.
Thank you so much. It's quite an honor.
Oh, great. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you teach and tell us exactly what you teach.
Well, I'm a math teacher at Galt High School, and I've been there 9 years with the Galt High School District. We're actually opening a new high school, though, this 2009-2010 school year called Liberty Ranch. And I'll be moving over that direction, which I'm really excited about. So change is good. Change is good. So how long have you been a teacher total?
9 years. 9 years total, okay.
9 years.
So in that amount of time, what kind of changes have you just seen in that? I mean, that's a really brief amount of time of a career, but you must have seen some big changes, not only in the way students are, but in dealing with the school environment.
Yeah, there's definitely been changes. You know, there's lots of different trends and issues going on in education, and you know, some are bigger than others. Definitely, one of the things that our school's been focusing a lot on is the rigor and relevance. So for me, there's a lot of relationship building things relationships with my kids that I'm doing that are the most important to me. Stumble over my words.
Okay. So you're building relationships, and that kind of lays the foundations, because once you have a good relationship, the student performs better?
I do believe that. Even though I teach math, the reason I teach is not because of the math. I teach because of the kids. And you know, I care about them. I want to see them do well, and you know, that's my connection to teaching is the kids.
Well, that's great. So now, obviously, math is a difficult subject for a lot of kids.
It's not the most popular.
Even for some teachers, maybe. I don't know. But what are some of the things that you do to kind of motivate kids who really find math challenging?
You know, that's a great question, and that's something that I will continue to keep trying to figure out. But certainly, being enthusiastic about it, encouraging them to do their best. You know, when you have students that are not achieving at state standards, you know, just to see them actually improve is definitely a success worth celebrating. And it's not realistic to think we're going to take a below basic kid and all of a sudden they're proficient in a year. So just to see the growth from where they started, just the improvement is a huge success for them, and then also for me as a teacher.
And do you find it difficult to motivate those kids who really struggle with math? Do you have some key things that you try to do, other than, you know, getting excited about it or trying to get them excited?
Yeah, you know, it's the enthusiasm part, but yeah, getting them just connected, and I've worked hard to try to make it more fun, more exciting. I think definitely getting to know them on different levels, motivation-wise, it makes a big difference. I try to bring a lot of technology into the classroom. I've been working hard on PowerPoints, which I try to connect, you know, things like Tiger Woods golfing with some of my geometry students, and just different things to try to make it more applicable for them. Yeah. When I was in high school, I actually struggled with math, and that's one of the things I always tell my kids is it didn't come easy for me. I had to work hard at it. My family actually laughs at me that I'm a math teacher, but like I said, I of course understand the math, and I really enjoy it now, but I am there for the kids, encouraging them to do their best. And I think, you know, my dad was always, he coached us in sports. Growing up, I played a lot of sports, and I try to relate teaching a lot to that. You know, I'm the coach, and I'm trying to do what I can to support them, encourage them, and you know, try to provide them with what they need to do for their skills. But you know, a lot of times they have to be the ones to reach down deep inside and make it happen.
Well, coaching is teaching.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is.
So in addition to kind of motivating the students and connecting with them, what about the families, and how important is the family support and the motivation of the student?
Super important. You know, families, you know, you have to value education to make it a priority. And so, you know, I've had students that come from families that are very supportive, and you know, those students typically do pretty well. You know, there's also the other side where some students don't quite have the same support at home. You know, there's so many different types of families these days, and kids, you know, they have a lot that they're dealing with, and especially at the high school level, you know, throwing hormones and changes and everything into the picture. you know, that sometimes doing math homework wasn't the most important thing that night. And so just to kind of have a relationship to where, you know, you kind of understand where they're coming from, but also keep encouraging them to do the best they can with, you know, where they're at.
Well, what motivated you to become a teacher? How did you get here?
Well, actually, I'm not sure I would have if my grandma hadn't actually suggested it. I went to Sac State, and I started out as a criminal justice major there, and I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I jumped from subject to subject. I was going to do physical therapy, and then my grandma had mentioned, you know, you really should think about teaching. And it was almost like a light bulb went on, and I wasn't sure I would have thought of it on my own, but she certainly inspired me to get into teaching. And then, you know, like I said, with my dad coaching, he's taught me a lot of principles of, you know, just caring and pushing kids to do the best they can, and all those types of things that have, I feel like I've implemented into my classroom that have made me feel like I'm a better person and teacher. And
what directed you toward math?
Actually, math followed me. I didn't actually go after math. I was actually a multiple subject credential. I wanted to teach elementary. I was thinking maybe 4th grade. And my sister had actually worked at the district, the Galt district, and she called and said, they're looking for a summer school teacher. It's only 3 weeks. And she said, the only problem is algebra. And I thought, oh man, algebra, because I actually struggled when I was in high school a little bit. So I thought, well, 3 weeks I can get through anything. Well, I ended up falling in love with the math. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that age, which was surprising to me too, because I had planned to do elementary. And then they asked me to do the second session of summer school, and I said, yeah, this is a blast. And then actually I had a month to finish my student teaching, and they asked me if I would interview for a position at Galt High, and I did, and I've been there ever since. So I didn't plan on high school, I didn't plan on math, it just kind of all happened.
It all fell into place for you.
Yeah, and then I finished my credentials as I needed to, and here I am.
Oh, well.
So
everybody has a different story as to how they get into teaching and what
true.
happens to them. So what was your reaction when you found out that you were named a Teacher of the Year?
That's a good question. I was probably shocked. Shocked in a good way. I think that it's just a very humbling experience, and there's so many teachers that are so worthy, and that I can honestly say I know that they do so much more than I do. At least it feels that way. So having that recognition, it's of course very flattering, it means a lot to me, but definitely very humbling. I feel like I'm a work in progress. I feel like there's a lot I still want to do. I feel like I am a life learner, still wanting to learn and continue doing things the best I can, changing things up. Education's always changing, so we have to change with that. So I don't feel like I'm Yoda by any stretch, but certainly I was very, very honored.
And keeping up with the changes in education is a challenge.
It is. It is.
Different curriculums and different things to do, and so you always have to stay on top of that. Yeah. So you're doing homework while their students are doing homework. Yeah,
and I think that it's not so much the math that changes, but certainly how you present it to the kids. The kids are changing. Our world is changing. You know, so kids aren't the same as they used to be. I know they're different than when I was in high school. And every kid comes to school with a cell phone, with an iPod, very technology, you know, savvy. And so, you know, we have to take a look at that and try to tap in where their interests are. I think that's really important.
What would you say to someone who's considering teaching?
It's the best job. It's the most rewarding. I feel so lucky to be teaching. I feel like it's definitely my passion. I love going to work. I like knowing that I hopefully am making a difference with some kids, and to me that's the best job in the world. So the first few years of teaching can be pretty rough. I think a lot of teachers get into it not really knowing with the classroom management, sometimes caught off guard with all the challenges with that, because you're not really taught how to deal with that until you're right in the middle of it. But I definitely think once you start learning how to handle some of the challenges, it's the most rewarding job there is.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
We've been speaking with Donna Hartje, who is the Teacher of the Year for 2010 for the Galt Joint High School District.